The air was crisp and golden on the day I moved into Willow Creek, a sleepy suburban enclave tucked away in the American heartland. I'd chosen it for the promise of serenity-lined streets, manicured lawns, and the kind of neighborly charm that glossy real estate brochures flaunt with photos of kids on bikes and friendly mail carriers tipping their caps. My name is Samantha Reed, and until that autumn of 2025, I'd spent my life dodging the chaos of city VYing. As the Chief Inspector of the United States Postal Inspection Service VYC, my days were consumed with safeguarding a system most people take for granted. Mail fraud, theft, and the occasional high-stakes sting operation filled my docket. Off the clock, though, I craved quiet. Willow Creek seemed like the perfect escape. I kept my title under wraps, of course. To the world, I was just Sam, the new resident at 214 Elmwood Lane, a modest two-story with a wraparound porch and a penchant for baking sourdough that I'd share at block parties. My neighbors didn't need to know I oversaw the integrity of the nation's postal network. For me, the mail was more than a mundane necessity. It was a lifeline, a thread of trust woven into the fabric of daily life. So when I unpacked my boxes that first day, watching the movers haul on my grandmother's oak dresser under the shade of ancient elms, I felt a flicker of hope. This could be home. That hope dimmed the moment I met Evelyn Harper. She strode down the sidewalk like a general inspecting her troops, clipboard in hand, her ash-blonde hair pulled into a severe bun. She was in her mid-50s, I guessed, with a pressed blazer and a demeanor that screamed authority. "You must be MS. Reed," she said, her voice sharp as a paper cut. "I'm Evelyn Harper, VYC president of the Willow Creek Homeowners Association. Some call me VYE, though I can't fathom why." Her smile was a thin, brittle thing, more formality than warmth. I offered a polite nod. "Thanks for the welcome. I'm Sam, excited to be here." She handed me a thick binder, its cover emblazoned with the HOA logo, a stylized willow tree. "Our community standards," she said. "Landscaping, noise levels, mailbox regulations. We're strict about uniformity. Your mailbox, for instance, must match the approved design matte black, 42 inches from the ground. The pre-VYS owner should have left one. Any changes require HOA approval." She scanned my yard with hawk-like precision, as if daring a weed to sprout. "Got it," I replied, keeping my tone light. "Appreciate the heads up." Evelyn gave a curt nod and marched off, her heels clicking against the pavement like a metronome set to a war march. I should have seen the warning signs, then her rigid posture, the glint of control-freak glee in her eyes, but I brushed it off. HOAs were quirky, I told myself. They existed for a reason. Aesthetics, property values, order. I'd dealt with worse in my line of work. How bad could it get? The answer came faster than I expected. Willow Creek was a postcard-perfect community at first glance. Neighbors dropped by with casseroles and zinnias clipped from their gardens. My next-door neighbor, Tara Mitchell, a single mom with twin boys who loved skateboarding, became an instant friend. She warned me about Evelyn over coffee one morning, her voice low. "She's a bulldog with those rules. Last summer, she fined me $50 because my boys left their boards in the driveway overnight. Said it cluttered the aesthetic. Watch yourself." I laughed it off, but Tara's wary glance stuck with me. The rest of the HOA board seemed tame by comparison. The president, Harold Grayson, was a reclusive widower who rarely left his house. The treasurer, Clara Dunn, posted dry budget updates on the community forum. The secretary, Pete Alvarez, handled paperwork with quiet efficiency. Evelyn, though, was the heartbeat of the operation or the iron fist, depending on who you asked. She dominated meetings with her strident voice and a knack for bending rules to her will. Weeks passed. I settled into a rhythm. My job kept me busy early mornings at the regional office, occasional trips for investigations, but I savored the evenings, jogging through Willow Creek's quiet streets, while VYing at familiar faces. The mailbox squabbles started small. Evelyn would stop by, clipboard in tow, nitpicking neighbor setups. "Your post is 44 inches, Mrs. Carter." She'd snap at an elderly widow down the block. "That's 2 inches over regulation. Fix it." or I'll issue a citation. Mrs. Carter would grumble, but most complied, too tired to fight. I watched it unfold with a mix of amusement and unease. As a postal inspector, I knew the USPS guidelines inside out mailboxes had to be accessible between 41 and 45 inches high, placed for carrier convenience. Evelyn's obsession with exactitude was overkill, but it wasn't illegal. Yet, I stayed silent, blending in as the unassuming newcomer. But she didn't, and her ignorance fueled a storm I never saw coming. It hit on a frigid November night, cloaked in shadows. I woke at 3 a.m. to a faint clatter outside the metallic scrape, then silence. Peering through my blinds, I saw nothing but darkness. By morning, the truth hit like a gut punch. My mailbox was gone. Not just mine, half the neighborhood's curbside boxes had vanished, replaced by patches of churned dirt. I stepped outside, breath fogging in the chill, and found Tara on her lawn, staring at the empty post where her mailbox once stood. "What the hell happened?" she whispered, her boys peering from the porch. Panic rippled through Willow Creek. Neighbors emerged, bleary-eyed and baffled, clutching coffee mugs as they surveyed the carnage. Thieves, someone guessed. Kids pulling a prank? Then a notice appeared on the HOA bulletin board, typed in Evelyn's unmistakable clipped tone. "Attention residents. Due to widespread noncompliance with mailbox standards, the HOA has removed outdated or unauthorized units. New, approved mailboxes will be installed at a cost of $250 per household. Details to follow." Evelyn Harper, VP. The street erupted. "She can't do this," shouted Mike Torres, a burly mechanic from across the way. "I paid for my mailbox, it's mine." Others nodded, furious. Tara turned to me, eyes blazing. "This is insane, Sam. She's holding our mail hostage." I nodded, my pulse quickening. This wasn't just an HOA power play, it was a federal crime. Mailboxes, once used for USPS delivery, fall under postal jurisdiction. Removing them without consent, especially with mail inside, was tampering Title 18 territory. Evelyn had no idea who she'd just provoked. The fallout was chaos. Mail carriers arrived, bewildered, with nowhere to drop letters or packages. Some residents rigged up makeshift bins. Others drove to the post office for P.O. boxes. I snapped photos of the empty posts, collected the HOA notice, and quietly called my team. "We got a situation," I told my deputy, Lauren Pierce. "Mass mailbox removal by an HOA official. Looks coordinated, possibly malicious." Lauren's voice crackled with disbelief. "You're kidding. In your own neighborhood? That's bold. We'll start a case file. Get us Evy Denke." I worked fast, staying under the radar. Tara hooked me up with neighbors who'd found letters scattered on their porches, post-removal proof mail had been disrupted. An older man, Mr. Hensley, showed me a returned prescription package, his hand shaking. "I need those meds, Sam. What's she playing at?" I promised him answers, my anger simmering. Evelyn, meanwhile, doubled down. She cruised the streets in her sleek black SUV, while VYing smugly as if she'd won a war. Her next move? A community forum post. New mailboxes arrive soon. Pay to law $250 by Friday, or forfeit delivery PRIVY legies. Compliance is non-negotiable. Friday brought the reckoning. An emergency HOA meeting was called at the clubhouse, a squat brick building packed with furious residents. Evelyn stood at the podium, flanked by a jittery Clara Dunn and a vacant-eyed Harold Grayson. She clicked through a slideshow of approved mailbox design sleek, overpriced monstrosities. Each household will pay due lot $250, plus a due lot $60 annual maintenance fee, she declared, her tone icy. This ensures uniformity and value. Non-payers will face legal action. The room exploded. "You stole our property." Mike roared. "This is extortion." Evelyn banged a gavel. "The HOA has authority under our covenants." Meeting adjourned. She stormed out, Leah VYing chaos in her wake. I slipped away, dialing Lauren. "She's extorting them now. We've got enough witnesses, footage from a doorbell cam showing her crew, and her own notices. Move the warrants." Lauren's reply was swift. Done. We'll hit tomorrow. You in? I hesitated, confronting Evelyn in my own backyard blurred lines, but this was personal. She'd ripped out my mailbox to me link to the system I'd sworn to protect. I'm in, I said. Saturday dawned gray and tense. At 10 a.m., I pulled up at the clubhouse in my unmarked sedan, badge tucked in my jacket. My team, Lauren, and 2 agents arrived in separate cars, local PD on standby. Inside, Evelyn was mid-speech at another SNAP meeting, railing about ingrates who wouldn't pay. I strode in, cutting her off. Excuse me. My name is Samantha Reed, Chief Inspector, United States Postal Inspection SARE VYC. I flashed my badge, voice steady. Evelyn Harper, you're under investigation for federal mail tampering. The room froze. Evelyn's jaw dropped, her clipboard clattering to the floor. What? This is absurd. I stepped closer. We have VY Deo of your crew Remo VY ing mailboxes, statements from your hired hand, and proof you disrupted mail delivery. That's a felony. Step aside. 2 officers moved in, cuffing her as she sputtered. The HOA was enforcing rules. Lauren read her rights, and the crowd parted, stunned, as Evelyn was let out. Word spread like wildfire. By nightfall, Willow Creek was a media circus news vans, flashing cameras, neighbors spilling their stories. Evelyn's arrest made national headlines. HOA tyrant faces federal charges over mailbox heist. She claimed ignorance in a tearful TV in her VYEW, but the EVY Denke was ironclad. Her plea deal came weeks later: probation, fines, restitution, and a ban from HOA roles. The board rewrote its bylaws, ceding mailbox control to USPS standards. Winter settled in, and Willow Creek healed. Mailboxes returned, some adorned with holiday lights in a defiant nod to the ordeal. Tara's boys rigged theirs with jingle bells, and we laughed over cocoa on my porch, snow falling soft and silent. You're a hero, Sam, she said. I shrugged, just doing my job. But as I watched the mail carrier weave through our streets, now a local legend, I felt something deeper. This wasn't just about Mile, it was about trust reclaimed. Willow Creek was home, and I'd fought for it. If you were the one in this story, how would you react? Would you stand up and fight back, or accept the unreasonable pressure and control from the HOA? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this VY Deo with more people. Your small action gives us the motivation to keep bringing you more intense and engaging stories. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next VY Deo.